while American forces carried out targeted strikes in response to recent violations in the Strait of Hormuz. President Donald Trump had to enter a high-level military meeting with his top defense advisors about something that is about to happen. While Trump was talking to his staff seeking a diplomatic path, Trump sent his delegation to Qatar. American envoys like Steve Witkoff and Darius Kushner arrived in Doha in recent days to meet with Qatari officials and mediators. There are no direct meetings between Americans and Iranians. The talks are indirect, conducted through intermediaries such as the government of Qatar. This week, technical experts from both sides are expected to meet to discuss implementation. The practical implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding, signed in mid-June. The main focus is to restore the safe passage of commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz, resolve outstanding issues regarding transit fees demanded by Iran, and make progress on restrictions to Iran's nuclear program. The initial 60-day period for a final agreement extends until approximately August 18th. But Trump has already indicated that he doesn't see a problem if the negotiations go beyond that date. In recent weeks, incidents in the Strait of Hormuz have occurred again and attracted attention. Ships were targeted in limited actions and counterattacks. Trump authorized targeted responses when Iran violated the terms of the memorandum, but avoided a larger escalation. These exchanges of blows kept the tension high, even with a crisis communication line already active between the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and U.S. Central Command. And it was in this context that the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and General Dan Caney, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, presented Trump with options to resume large-scale operations, in what would be the final ones to end the conflict. The briefings presented to Trump included plans and massive attacks against remaining Iranian military targets. Some advisors internally described the possibility of how to end it gently against remaining Iranian military targets. Some advisors internally described the possibility as finishing the job. The president sounded out his advisors for ideas to break the current deadlock, as he usually does in more critical situations. Apparently, President Trump listened to the plans with attention from his military and advisors, but decided not to authorize them at this time. He believes that a new round of large-scale attacks could disrupt the ongoing negotiations and reduce the chances of permanently dismantling the Iranian nuclear program. To get full access to this video and watch many other exclusive ones that are not available to the public, become an exclusive channel member for only $7 per month. In recent statements, Trump was direct. If the country bombed heavily for 2 or 3 weeks, Iran would be left with almost nothing, but the Strait of Hormuz would remain closed for months. Many lives would be lost, so he prefers a strong deal over a military alternative at this moment. The Memorandum of Understanding signed in June laid the groundwork for the current moment. The United States began to lift the naval blockade and remove obstacles for Iran. In return, Iran committed to allowing the safe passage of commercial ships without charging fees for an initial period of 60 days, and to advancing negotiations on its nuclear program. The text also provides for dialogue with Oman regarding the future administration of the Strait of Hormuz, respecting international law and the sovereignty of the coastal countries. But the talks in Doha are facing obstacles. Iran insists on receiving billions in service fees for the transit of ships through the strait, something the United States completely rejects, upholding freedom of navigation. In addition, Tehran resists accepting strict restrictions on its nuclear activities, despite previous commitments mentioned by the Americans. The United States envoys maintain a firm tone as a direct message from Trump. Either Iran accepts the essential terms, or the United States will return to necessary military actions. Trump's approach combines constant military pressure with diplomatic openness. He has already shown satisfaction with limited strikes when Iran tests the limits. At the same time, he made it clear that he would only authorize a full-scale war if American forces were killed. Meanwhile, American military capabilities remain in position. Large-scale options are ready and up to date, serving as a deterrent tool during negotiations. The previous ceasefire showed that any violation can lead to immediate responses. The crisis communication line between American and Iranian forces has already been employed and remains active, which represents a minimal channel of stability. However, the Iranian nuclear program continues.
Sendo o ponto central.
The United States seeks verifiable limitations that prevent the development of nuclear weapons. Iran, on the other hand, is pushing for broader economic relief. If the talks in Doha move forward, the most likely outcome is an agreement that combines nuclear restrictions with confidence-building measures in the Strait of Hormuz and gradual sanctions relief. This would reduce the immediate risk of open conflict and stabilize the global energy flow. If the negotiations stall or Iran resumes escalating incidents in the Strait, the military options previously presented to Trump could be reconsidered quickly. Trump has already shown that he does not hesitate to use military force when he deems it necessary, but he prefers an outcome that permanently weakens Iranian threats without the prolonged costs of an open war. But there's another detail. To watch the full video of this analysis, do what our members do. Just become an exclusive channel member for only $7 per month. Just click here on the join button and leave your opinion in the comments if you believe that the talks in Doha will produce a lasting agreement or that a new military escalation is inevitable. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And until the